Hi, James here, and welcome to part 2 of the Fuzzlecheck Units Edition tutorial. In this video, we'll look at the different unit comparison views, working with element availabilities, as well as some of the printing options used in the Units Edition. So we can see on our board here the different units working on various days, and Fuzzlecheck Units offers the ability to view side-by-side comparisons of the different units, and there's two different ways to do this. Notice if there's more than one unit scheduled on any particular board, this series of buttons appears beside the unit button. They control the different views available. You'll notice in board B there are no buttons as there's only one unit scheduled. If we go back to board A, the buttons appear because there are multiple units as part of this board. So let's stay here in board A. Now the default view is this button here, which is the descending rows button. The button next to it toggles the side-by-side comparison view. These functions are also available in the menu bar under View. Now there are two different side-by-side comparison views. The first is descending rows, just like the main board. Essentially, it's the different units side by side, and each can be scrolled independently of the others. Strips can be moved between the boards as required. The second view is called Sync View by Date, and it's toggled with the next button over, or also under View in the menu bar. When we click this, we get the three boards synced by date side by side, so that all the corresponding shoot days are next to each other. Three boards now scroll as one to keep the dates synced up, and again, you simply move strips back and forth between the units as required. It's important to note that when you're in either side-by-side view, the unit break button is grayed out, and the only way to add another unit at this point is by using the Units tab. Okay, so now let's look at how the Units Edition addresses element conflicts. As demonstrated in a previous tutorial, when activated, Fuzzlecheck shows availability conflicts as orange circles around an element's ID or name, whichever is being used as the identifier on the board. Availability conflicts can be turned on or off under View in the main menu. Now if we look at day 2, there's a conflict with the set Karl Marx Boulevard and the characters number 1 and number 2 between the two units as denoted by the orange highlights. Fuzzlecheck Units tracks element availability not only by where they are required, but also by when they are required. We can see that main unit has a call time of 9 a.m. but that the second unit doesn't have a call time established yet, so Fuzzlecheck Units is working on the assumption that everything is needed at the same time. So let's give second unit their call time of 5 p.m., and we'll see that that addresses the conflicted earlier scenes on main unit, but not the last scene. Now it's important to note that Fuzzlecheck is monitoring conflicts on more than one level. If you hover the mouse over the element or ID, Fuzzlecheck will show you the notification detail as to why there is a conflict. In the case of the set Karl Marx Boulevard, it's identified the conflict with regard to the set name. The extras are all being considered in conflict because of their IDs, but further along we see there's a conflict with the tutor. Notification says there's a conflict because the tutor's name is in the system as Leora Sayer, and that she has a conflict with scenes 17 and 21 on second unit. Now the only elements that have names attached to them at this point are the cast, and if we click on cast number 2, we bring up the cast management window. We can see that Leora Sayer is also playing our female lead. Fuzzlecheck is tracking background information as well as element IDs. In any case, we should probably hire another tutor. Anyway, there's still a conflict noted between the final scene on main unit that is supposed to be finished by 4:30 and the first scene scheduled on second unit that doesn't start until 5 p.m. And that's because of a handy function that allows you to denote the travel time of elements between units. If we click on the Project button and then on the Units tab, we'll see the area at the bottom called Delay Time. This determines the minimum amount of travel time an actor or any other element needs between units to avoid a conflict notification. Right now it's set to 60 minutes, and Fuzzlecheck recognizes that as a conflict. If we change that time to 30 minutes, because the actor is going to be in the same location, then the conflict goes away. Another way to see how various units lay out is in Calendar. Along the bottom of the calendar window is a timeline representative of each unit, with first unit on top and then second unit and so on. Note as well you can toggle between the boards through this menu here. Okay, so now let's look at the various printing options in Fuzzlecheck Units. When you click Print, it takes you to the main print menu. From there you can scroll through the various reports available on the left-hand side. Choose Schedule Style A, and there's our board with the first, second, and third units all working on day 2. Now if you want to narrow it down so that not all units are shown, you can use this pull down here to choose which units are visible on the one line. 1, 2, or 3, or a combination of any is possible. Further printing options are available in the Layout editor. When you click on Unit Breaks, you're then presented with all the information options available to put in the unit day breaks. Other print options are the one-page units report, which displays the various units in the side-by-side comparison view, and a multiple-page units report that's similar to the schedule-style one-line, but it lists the units one after another. If we look at other reports like the various breakdowns, you'll see that option to print all or some of the various units is available here as well. On the Schedule Update report, Fuzzlecheck Units keeps track of the changes between the old schedule and the current one, and that includes strips that have moved from one unit to another. In the Extras Overview report, Fuzzlecheck Units tracks the background used on each unit, counts and totals them separately, as well as grand totaling them for the day. And on the Day Out of Days, you have a choice of listing the cast for all units in one column for each day, or if you click Show Units Side by Side, then the separate units are shown for each day. The other features exclusive to the Fuzzlecheck Units edition is episodic numbering and element highlighting. Episode numbering is one of the key functions in scheduling series, and element highlighting is useful for tracking certain elements on large projects, and we will look at both in depth in another tutorial. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.